wanted to do a YouTube video real quick before it gets dark here today. This Hurricane Aaron, which was a Category 5 when it was here, but just the edge of it came by St. Kitts, and we had a lot of rain here. You can see these dead tree limbs here that kind of fell down here in this yard. But you know, when you got concrete, all of these structures out here are concrete, and most people build them. So the worst thing you can pretty much have is if you don't have hurricane shutters and you know, shutters for your doors and stuff, is the windows coming out too and the roof coming off. But I don't think you'll ever see, I mean, it's impossible for a hurricane, I mean, for a concrete wall to fall down because of a hurricane. So, you know, the key is to have all of, most of the houses that are newer type subdivisions have storm shutters, you know, hurricane shutters, and this prevents, you know, you from having problems and stuff. Now I've been here for 18 years now, and I haven't, we've had several hurricanes that have come in direct. Omar was one that came in direct. Remember these eyes of the hurricane, they're typically, they're not very wide. So although you'll see the wind velocity is very, very high in these hurricanes, they're talking about pretty much the eye part. Once you get outside of that, you know, the velocity of the wind drops dramatically. And that's what you see in a lot of cases. I mean, you want to be careful with hurricanes, but like I said, a lot of it is overblown. But you do see some countries, if you have a 4 or 5 that comes in direct, you're going to have some substantial damage. You could even have it with a 3. This one was a 5. But again, it wasn't a direct hit. So that's why you also carry insurance too, hurricane insurance, to cover that. But I've been here, thank the Lord, 18 years, and I have had virtually nothing. You had hurricanes come through, but it's I'm more concerned with termites than hurricanes, actually. But you have that almost any place you go to. You know, I grew up in North Carolina, and we had termites all the time. You know, you just gotta, you need to, you know, to defend against them, and that is to put good termite liquid around your house. At least every quarter I would do it, and that's what I would do there. Now, some of the things I'm going to tell you about here is when you're purchasing property, how to do it for citizenship. And again, in St. Kitts, you've got it's at 25,000, which is lower than it was 18 years ago for government fee for one person. That's all you're paying for citizenship if you get the real estate option. And if you go for your best deals down here are going to be homes that qualify for the home program, not with developers direct, I can tell you that. Square foot wise, they're going to be cheaper if you do that. So that's what you want to be looking for. Now again, you can see we've had almost nothing. The winds were pretty high, but it's you know, I don't see any sort of damage around here. It actually skirted out to the northern part of the Leeward Islands. The eye was far out from us, but we still got the tropical winds from it. Also, folks, if you can do us a big favor, we do not monetize our channel. It would do us a big favor algorithm-wise if you hit the subscribe button right on your screen. And also, if you like our videos, give us a thumbs up and pass these videos around your friends. It would help us out tremendously if you would do that for us. Now, if you're buying in St. Kitts, I'm going to give you some options you can look for. And that is, I would be getting stuff that's high up. I've told people this before. Buy properties that are high up because you're, number one is you never get tired of the views. And also you're your electric bill, I don't even use air conditioning here because I'm high up. My electric bill only runs me about, it's about 70 EC a month. So it's like around 25 US. Water bill is about 7 US a month. In fact, it's a flat amount unless you exceed your water, which I never do, water limit they give you. But what happens too is if you're real conservative on your electricity, what they do here is they give you back a huge credit end of every month, where your electric bill is almost nothing if you hit that credit. But the way to really save a lot here is to use gas as much as you can on your stoves. You can actually do it on your dryers. I don't do it on my dryer, but you can. But that's really low for 25 US dollars a month is what my average is all year round here. And see, you never have to use heating here. And then if you don't use electricity, you can really knock back a lot. But again, this is a place you want to pick, is Freakett Bay. And again, if you get the condominiums to qualify for citizenship, you're looking at a minimum of $325,000. And then you've got $25,000 for one person for the real estate option government fee, and there are a few other fees that you pay in there for due diligence. We've given you that on other videos and stuff, but you can also get with us too at www.citizenshipquickly.com and just ask for some help. But St. Kitts now is the only country that has come out with this. The other ones I'm sure are going to come out with it too, but is the only one that's got that they're making the 30-day residency period mandatory as a residency requirement to get the passport to qualify, make sure they're not conflicting with what the U.S. and the OECD countries have as far as residency goes. As time goes on, I can tell you they're probably going to raise those limits up and require them to do it. I know how the OECD and the US is. What will happen is they will eventually require more residency requirements. So it's going to get harder and harder to actually get in these better passport type fast track programs like St. Kitts. And Antigua also has good visa free travel, not quite as good as St. Kitts does. And St. Kitts does have better tax laws. They don't tax they don't require the owner of a local business to pay Social Security taxes. They do on the employees of that owner. Antigua requires the owner and the employees to pay the Social Security tax. So that's something, if you have a local company here, there's a big advantage here versus Antigua. You see, most people that get this citizenship by investment, they're wealthy people. In fact, they're all wealthy. So, why do they need to pay into Social Security? That doesn't make sense. And again, it's only if you got a local company that you're required to do that with Antigua, but not with St. Kitts, okay? Now, they could change that here. I'm just telling you right now, they don't have that. This is one of the few places in the world where literally you can go and not only don't have any income tax, capital gains tax, estate inheritance taxes. I'm talking about for St. Kitts. Again, if you're a U.S. citizen, U.S. resident, you're from a country that taxes worldwide income, then you got to acknowledge the taxes on that. You want to get out of that, you have to break away legally. If you're a U.S. citizen, you're going to have to relinquish. Some of these other countries are going to require you to pay an exit tax, depending on what it is, but I'm giving you based on St. Kitts tax laws, okay? So you're going to have to look at where you're at too to see if you're compliant on that. Now, but again, literally, I mean, we do over 100 different countries. In some countries that have fairly good tax laws, they tax 50%, they get a Social Security tax of 50%. So you got to look at the whole picture, not just the VAT, but you got to look at the capital gains tax, the income tax, the Social Security tax. These are things that are based on your income. And St. Kitts doesn't have any of these. That's required for a self-employed owner. Okay, so they do have a small business tax, but that is only if you are a business owner here. But that's only 4% of what you earn, and there's a pretty good sized deduction that comes off that before that 4% kicks in. Okay, so and then your property tax is almost nothing here. It's like 0.20% of whatever you're purchasing, with a $29,600 US exclusion before that 0.20% kicks in. So you've got some really, really good tax laws here. I'll be honest with you, I do these, you know, so many different countries, and it's very, very difficult to find a country that literally across the board has knocked these taxes almost out totally, like St. Kitts has. And you've got a really good opportunity, especially if you're, even if you're a U.S. citizen. A lot of people will ask me, well, they'll say, well, Tom, I don't want to give up my passport in the U.S. You know, how can this work for me if I want to lower my taxes and move to St. Kitts? Well, it's a lot easier if you get citizenship in St. Kitts. You can still keep your, you know, your passport in the U.S., and then you can qualify for the foreign overseas exclusion. Now, this year it's $130,000 for a husband, $130,000 for a wife, which is $260,000 if you qualify for the foreign overseas exclusion, and you're a U.S. citizen or U.S. resident, and you want to move to a place like this and benefit from it. But I'm going to tell you, it's a lot easier if you get citizenship, a lot more complicated if you don't. Okay? And you're not guaranteed. You could spend a lot of time, and I can't guarantee anything if you don't get citizenship. They bar a lot of people out here if you don't get citizenship. Okay, so that's the easiest way to do it. You come in, you have all the rights that a regular citizen has, except you can't run for public office. That's the only exclusion that I've seen you have. The voting part, that I think they used to have that's been taken out. In other words, you have the right to vote as an economic citizen. But that was taken out. I don't know what year it was, but some time ago it was taken out. But anyway, that's how that works. Now, one of the things that you're going to have to know too, you've probably noticed, and I've done videos on this before, but people don't listen sometimes. They come down here and they make stupid choices. If you go and you buy in St. Kitts, you notice all these barking dogs here. Well, some of these friggin' dogs, they'll bark. People will keep them outside, and they'll bark at 1, 2, 3, or 4 in the morning. So if you get a house and you're next door to one of these people, you can have hell, okay? Because the noise factor down here, the way they control it, is totally different in the U.S. Like in Germany, you go to Germany, they don't allow stuff like this. You can't just have dogs barking all night long. Now, there are ways around it. The way you do it is get in a planned unit development that doesn't allow dogs. Now, I like dogs, but you're going to have to understand that the laws here are totally different. And yeah, they might come out, the police might come out if you got a complaint, but the problem is if they get tired of you calling them, you might not just see them again. That's the problem, you know. And if these people don't put their dog inside or get rid of him if they don't want to do that. So I've heard a lot of people had complaints with that, but I'm just telling you this ahead of time before you buying a planned unit development. And it's a lot easier to keep your place up too, because then you got somebody taking care of your lawn, the grass, everything's taken care of. You don't have to mess with it, and then you don't have to deal with barking dogs and crap. But either a housing development, we have single family homes, it's a gated community. There's only 3 that are here in St. Kitts. Okay, one is called Ocean's Edge. They got nice homes, beautiful views, but you're looking at the cheapest one I've seen up there is 1.4 million. If you want the cheapest gated area, they have really good ocean views. It's Sunrise Hills Villas. And we've got one in there now that's 40% off. Really good deal. You want a really good deal, this is a good deal on a house. Now, there's another one. Again, Ocean's Edge is another one I mentioned to you. And it's gated. And there's another one called Sundance. The problem with Sundance, you're looking at, there's a house up there now for sale for over 11 million US. I don't think anything is under 11 million US up there. So these are 3 gated housing areas. Now they've got other gated areas, but they're condominiums. And you know, you're looking at really low square footage. If you want a nice size house and you want it gated, you want to go in one of those 3 subdivisions. The one that's in Sunrise was appraised at just under 1.6 million, and it's listed for 998,000. And really beautiful ocean views, mountain views, golf course views overlooking the golf course. This is one you want to be looking for, especially if you want to bring your family down, not be cramped and stuff, and you want the place to be taken care of. And it qualifies for citizenship. Remember, not all these properties are going to qualify for citizenship, because you're going to have to remember, not only is it titled property, and all property in Frigate Bay is titled, but it's going to have to be qualified from the Board of Governors in St. Kitts. So if you come to St. Kitts, you need to know what you're doing, because if you buy a property that's in Frigate Bay, and you're thinking, even if you're not getting it for citizenship, but you're buying it because you think it can resell for citizenship, and that's what you should be looking for, because it's a lot easier if your house is going to qualify for citizenship if you resell it. And again, if you buy it and someone says it qualifies for citizenship and you buy it, you would still have to get it requalified again. It's pretty easy to get it requalified again, but you would have to do that when you resell it yourself. Okay? Now, if you buy a house, the minimum is $600,000 through the home program. The condominium is $325,000. Okay? So this is what you're looking for there. Now, this is a new development, a new shopping center that came up. They got a nice bakery in there, and also Church's Fried Chicken. They're putting that up in there now. They're really starting to really build up Frigate Bay. There's very little land still left available around here. So if you're looking to get a property here for citizenship, this is a great time to do it, because right now the dollar is starting to fall. And St. Kitts is an emerging market country. And what happens is stocks go up first before real estate goes up in emerging markets. And emerging markets have been down for many years. It still has not come up on the equities, not the real estate, but equities still have not come back up to their level they were in 2007 at that peak before everything dropped out. S&P 500 is way, way, way up, maybe 3 or 4 times from that point. But the point I'm trying to make is also the market is way overpriced in the US. And once the equity market starts to take off, which it has in emerging market, look what's happening in China now. Real estate follows, and we'll have another boom here, just like they did back from 2004 to 2010. And then we had a big drop off 11 and 12. There's the new churches. It hasn't opened yet. They'll be opening that up pretty soon. So what you want to be doing again is looking for houses, if you want the best deal per square foot. We've also got a condo. The guy's got it reduced quite a bit, and you might be able to pick it up. It's about it's 450,000 condo. You might be able to pick it up for even that minimum of 325,000. It's a 2-bedroom. It's right on the golf course and lake, and it's got really good views and stuff. But that's one that you can qualify for citizenship, and you only pay $25,000 government fee. There are a few other fees, like I mentioned to you before, about background check fee, and it's the more people you got in your family, the higher that fee is going to be, the higher the total fees are. If you want to know more on this, folks, just go to our website, www.citizenshipquickly.com, and ask for some help. And again, it would help us out tremendously on the algorithm of our channel, because we don't ask for money on this channel. So if you can give us a thumbs up if you like our video, and also don't forget to hit the subscribe button right on your screen. You get new videos automatically as they come out. And if you want to legally get your income taxes to zero, how to get a second passport as quick as about 4 months to a year, go to our website again, and we can help you on that. And I look forward to talking to you on the next video. Take care.